Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Mark Recchi. Mark Louis Recchi is a Canadian ice hockey coach and former professional player. He is currently the Director of Player Development for the Pittsburgh Penguins Recchi. Played 22 years in the National Hockey League. Recchi was a member of 3 Stanley Cup-winning teams: the 1991 Pittsburgh Penguins, the 2006 Carolina Hurricanes and the 2011 Boston Bruins. In Game 2 of the 2011 Finals, he became the oldest player ever to score in a Stanley Cup Finals series. On June 26, 2017, Recchi was elected into the Hockey Hall of Fame, in his 4th year of eligibility. Playing career. Recchi played his junior hockey for the Kamloops Blazers of the Western Hockey League. His number 8 was retired by the team shortly after he left for the NHL. He was drafted by the Pittsburgh Penguins, first playing in the NHL in 1988, and was a key player on their Stanley Cup-winning team in 1991. The following season he was traded to the Philadelphia Flyers as a part of a deal that brought Rick Tocchet and Kjell Samuelsson to Pittsburgh. He played for Philadelphia from 1992 to 1995 as part of the Crazy Eights line, with Eric Lindros and Brent Fedike, including a 53-goal, 70-assist, 123-point season in 1992-93. Still the Flyers' single-season point-scoring record. In 1995, he was traded to the Montreal Canadiens in a deal for Eric Desjardins, Gilbert Dion and John LeClair, but was reacquired by the Flyers for the 1998-99 season, and was consistently among their top scorers. During the 1999-2000 season, he was a finalist for the Lester B. Pearson Trophy as NHLPA MVP, and he finished 3rd in scoring, only 5 points behind winner Jaromir Jagr and runner-up Pavel Bure. Recchi also finished 3rd in voting for the NHL All-Star Team right-wing position behind Jagr and Bure. In 2000 and 2004, the Flyers would make the Eastern Conference Finals, but they would bow out of each series in 7 games. In 2000, he was named Kamloops Male Athlete of the 20th Century, and had a street named Mark Recchi Way in his honor. In August 2004, Recchi rejoined the Penguins as a free agent, signing a 2-year contract with a 2-way option for a 3rd year. The first year was eventually nullified by the NHL lockout. In the 2nd year, with the Penguins languishing at the bottom of the NHL standings, Recchi waived his no-trade clause to be sent to the Stanley Cup contending Carolina Hurricanes at the deadline. For minor league forward Christopher Colanos, left-wing Niklas Nordgren, and a 2007 second-round pick, Recchi won his 2nd Stanley Cup with the Hurricanes that season, and subsequently re-signed with the Penguins during the summer of 2006 off-season. On January 20, 2007, he scored his 7th career hat-trick against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and just under a week later, Recchi scored his 500th career goal on January 26, 2007, on the power play against the Dallas Stars. During the summer of 2007 off-season, Recchi re-signed with the Pittsburgh Penguins for a 1-year contract that amounted to $2 million, but on December 4 he was placed on waivers and assigned to their American Hockey League affiliate, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, on December 6. The Penguins then placed Recchi on re-entry waivers the next day, where Recchi was claimed by the Atlanta Thrashers. In his first game against his former team, he scored the game-winning goal in a shootout on July 7, 2008. Recchi then signed a one-year deal as a free agent with the Tampa Bay Lightning. After scoring 45 points in 62 games with the Lightning in the 2008-09 season and with the Lightning out of playoff contention, Recchi was traded at the trade deadline, along with a second-round pick in 2010 to the Boston Bruins for Martins Karstens and Matt Lashoff. On March 4, 2009, Recchi scored his first 2 goals for the Bruins 3 days later on March 7, as the first and third Bruins goals in a 5-3 home ice defeat of the visiting Chicago Blackhawks. On July 2, 2009, Recchi re-signed with the Bruins to a one-year deal. At the time, Recchi had stated that the 2009-10 season would be his final year. With the retirement of Joe Sakic in the summer of 2009, Recchi became the leader in points and assists among active players. Recchi would serve as an alternate captain during the season while Mark Savard was injured and out of the lineup, playing 81 of 82 games in the 2009-10 season. During the 2010 playoffs, Recchi became the third oldest player to score a playoff goal, behind Chris Chelios and Gordie Howe, and also became the oldest player to have a multi-goal game in the playoffs, when he scored 2 goals in a 5-4 OT loss to Philadelphia in Game 4 of the second round. After suffering defeat in the Eastern Conference semifinals against the Philadelphia Flyers, instead of retiring, Recchi re-signed with the Bruins for one more year. In the 2010-11 season on November 24, 2010, Recchi scored twice against the Florida Panthers to get his 1,500th career point. In Game 2 of the 2011 Stanley Cup Finals, Recchi became the oldest ever player to score a goal in a Stanley Cup final, doing so at the age of 43. In Game 3 of the finals, he scored the final 2 goals of his career. On June 15, 2011, Recchi became a 3-time winner of the Stanley Cup and joined Jack Marshall, Frank Foyston, Jack Walker, Mike Keane, Claude Lemieux, Hap Holmes, Al Arbour, Gord Pettinger, Larry Hillman and Joe Nieuwendyk in winning 3 or more Stanley Cups with 3 different teams, as the Bruins defeated Vancouver in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Recchi also led the team in scoring during the Finals series, having previously announced that he would sail off into the sunset if Boston were victorious in the 2011 Stanley Cup Final. He announced his retirement in an interview with Ron MacLean of Hockey Night in Canada during the post-game Cup celebration. Recchi was the last player active in professional hockey who had played in the NHL in the 1980s, finishing his career 4th all-time in games played and 12th all-time in points. Thank you for watching. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Please like and subscribe below. Please like and subscribe below.